a sports gamer.
It's been almost 20 years since fans of the CFL have had a game to call their own, but the man behind that original excursion, David Winter, has spent the last 2 years developing a brand new football experience, Canadian Football 2017. Available on PC and Xbox One, the game doesn't feature an official CFL license because the league didn't want to invest the money in the product despite wanting some of the revenue, but all 9 CFL cities along with their respective color schemes are represented. Instead of the Hamilton Tiger Cats or Ottawa Red Blacks, we have the Ottawa Lumberjacks and Hamilton Stingers. Now, upon launch, Canadian football was riddled with problems. While some of the problems were good for a laugh, like launching a pass as if you were Uncle Rico on a rope over 100 yards, most of the issues nearly made the game unplayable. Wide open receivers dropping everything under the sun, and not being able to control players on kickoff coverage gave this game a feeling like it was a rushed college project than an actual playable video game. Other issues like the inability to view controller layouts, using the pause screen to reset a play or even change possession, or knowing where your kick was going plagued Canadian football on release. However, most of them have all been addressed via post-launch updates from developer Canuck Play. Even with the number of updates since launch, Canadian football isn't still without a number of problems. The game only comes with one actual game mode, a simple exhibition game either against a CPU or a friend locally, which can lead to the game becoming pretty boring after just a game or two. Giving players just an exhibition mode gives off the feeling of a demo as opposed to a full game. There is a play creator mode, which is pretty nice for mixing things up on the field, but it just doesn't really add much to the replay value of the game. On the field, you'll immediately notice the quality of the visuals. In fact, the player models are quite nicely done and are some of the best from an independent football game to date. Whether you're solely looking at screenshots or in the game playing, the models look like something developed by a much bigger studio than two-man Canuck Play. Be that as it may, visuals aren't everything in a game, and even with solid graphics, a game can suffer if the gameplay isn't fun. And that's where Canadian Football 2017 really starts to get hit. The game feels clunky and slow right off the bat, even down to the coin toss. Lining up for plays takes a huge chunk of the clock away, which can lead to delay of game penalties galore, and if you select a play with anything less than 15 seconds on the play clock, you run the risk of not being able to get the snap off. After the ball is snapped, players just run. Sure, receivers do follow their routes, but if the route is a streak or a deep post, they just keep going. They'll run out of the end zone and through the walls just like Forrest Gump. And the worst part of it is, defensive linemen will keep up with these receivers the whole way downfield. And on passing plays, if there's no blitz, there's no pressure to even throw the ball. CPU doesn't leave their assignment until the ball is past the line of scrimmage, giving you the option to kill as much time as possible. And if there's a blitz and you break away from it, the CPU defender may just keep running past you away from the play. Pass catching just isn't very reliable, and after making a catch, it's up to you to avoid everyone on the field. There's no sense of downfield blocking with this game, as AI teammates just stop trying to keep defenders away from you, while the AI defensive players run you down. Running plays, despite a few minor hiccups, provide no real problems, aside from blocks continuing after you reach the line of scrimmage. And there's also an issue of being positioned 3 to 4 yards away from where you actually were tackled, which can lead to major problems if you go for it on third down. Kicking is better with the added aim arrow, but you find yourself getting more delayed game penalties than actual kick attempts because of how little time you have to aim after finally getting to the line of scrimmage. It just comes down to the fact that it's better to play the game with the play clock off, which can take away for some players. Now, Canadian football is an okay foundation for a series that Canuck Play hopes will become an annual franchise, and it does offer glimpses of fun and is sure to see plenty of updates in the future. However, it's a game that just lacks too much polish and substance to justify a price tag even as cheap as $15.99.